Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Good evening, I'm Maddie Young. Thanks for joining us. Athens troopers from the Ohio State Highway Patrol are investigating a fatal crash that happened over the weekend. 26-year-old Dirk Allen Malone was killed early Saturday morning when he lost control of his vehicle and slid off the road, hitting a tree, fence, and house. Malone was wearing a seatbelt, but police suspect unsafe speed contributed to the crash. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations is searching an area where human remains were found over the weekend. A person came across what appeared to be skeletal remains while hiking on Saturday. The scene is located off of Flood Road in Pomeroy. Deputies secured the scene and are trying to get a search warrant for the property where the remains were found. A Nelsonville company is looking for an investor or buyer after filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. NMAP is a tech company based in Nelsonville that connects students to educational materials. CEO Dr. Michael Mark filed for bankruptcy on September 17th. The company has more than 100 creditors, according to the filing. The bankruptcy hearing is scheduled for October 22nd. Hocking College will have the first cannabis lab technician program in the country. It can now move forward after receiving accreditation from the Higher Learning Commission. Classes for the new program aren't scheduled to begin until fall 2019, but prospective students are urged to register immediately due to the anticipated demand for this degree. Ohio University released its 2017 crime statistics today. The school is required to release the information in a Clarity report each year. Ohio University's Athens campus saw a slight crime increase in 2017. Ohio says multiple factors may have contributed to the slight increase, including growth in the campus population. Ohio State University now has mandatory online training for students about preventing sexual misconduct. The training takes an hour or less and includes information about identifying and reporting sex and gender-based misconduct and about resources providing support. The school plans to roll out new online training for faculty and staff later this fall. Ohio State previously required such training for incoming students and some faculty and staff. The city of Nelsonville is accepting letters of interest for a vacant city council position. The new council member will fill Margaret Gustafan's vacant position. They will serve until November 30th next year. The deadline for submitting letters of interest is October 12th. U.S. Republican candidate Jim Renacci has used a strip club owner's private plane to fly to campaign events. Renacci paid Don Kizik about $2,500 for flights between January and June. Kizik flew Renacci to appearances in Cincinnati, Toledo, and Lima, in a plane registered to his now unused company, American Nightlife magazine.
Well, the hot weather has returned across southeastern Ohio, northeastern Kentucky, and northern West Virginia. It is hot out and muggy out there. 79 is the current temperature. Pressure is at, oh, I don't have the pressure up there. It's sunny and warm, though. Winds are out of the south at 3 miles an hour. All across the area, seeing the same warm weather. Temperatures are in the lower 80s and upper 70s. 83, the warm spots in Columbus and Ironton, seeing that urban heat island effect under mainly sunny to partly cloudy skies. As a reminder, follow me on social media at Snyder_WX to receive weather updates. Ask me any weather question and submit your photo for the weather photo of the week. Here are your highlights for the next couple of days. A warm start, possible midweek rain is in store, and then the seasonable temperatures return to the area. We'll talk all about that coming up in my full forecast coming up in the next couple of minutes. Maddie?
Thanks, Nicholas. 4 people were arrested Saturday at a protest at Kent State University. There were 50 activists in support of Second Amendment gun rights and a counter-protest by about 100 people. No serious injuries were reported. The protest was organized by recent grad Caitlin Bennett. Bennett gained attention in May after posting photos of her carrying a military-type rifle on campus. Bennett originally planned an open carry rally instead of a walk, but called off the rally because of security costs.
I saw the girl with when she graduated with the hat, and I thought that says it all. She has the right to do that, and when I heard about the resistance from the school for even having something like this, I thought that's not right.
But this is unnecessary. You have racists and fascists on my campus. I pay to go here. I deserve to feel safe. I am meters away from racists, people who would want me dead. It's not worth it.
The university says Ohio law allows private citizens to carry guns on campus, but prohibits students, faculty, and employees from doing so. A West Virginia man will receive a $75,000 settlement in a lawsuit against the city of Hinton and its former police chief. The lawsuit alleged ex-police chief Derek Snively attacked Robert McPherson after he refused McPherson's request that another officer respond to the scene outside a grocery store. The lawsuit said Snively shot McPherson with his stun gun. McPherson was arrested and later convicted of disarming a police officer. Abortion clinics no longer need written agreements with hospitals and ambulance services in Kentucky. A federal judge struck down the law mandating the clinics to have the agreements in cases of emergencies. The judge called the requirement unconstitutional under the 14th Amendment. Abortion rights supporters says Governor Matt Bevin's administration was using the rules to try to close Kentucky's only abortion clinic. A Bevin spokeswoman expressed disappointment and says there will be an appeal. Hours before the deadline, the U.S., Canada, and Mexico reached a deal. How this affects car manufacturers and dairy farmers.
But I can tell you, I watched that hearing.
And during the deal's press conference, President Trump had an interesting answer to a question about Brett Kavanaugh's drinking. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
How about the last 20 years?
This fall is going fast, but don't get bored on us mid-season now. The playoff picture is starting to develop, and every game that we bring you will have playoff implications. Right now is one of the most exciting times of the fall, which means you can't afford to miss Friday nights with us. Live at 11:30, Gridiron Glory is here for you. And check out our Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages all throughout the week. They're chock full of coverage. So start your weekends with us. And remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights in Gridiron Glory.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
I'm such a huge fan of PBS. For my entire life, it's been our window into a world of the arts that isn't available anywhere else on TV. We learn about our numbers and our letters and singing through music, through the incredible children's programming they have. And then we grow up and we get to see the world of the arts, whether it's ballet or opera or Broadway, and so many other amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else except for PBS.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell its story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
A new trade agreement is encouraging more auto manufacturing in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. And the U.S. reached the agreement just hours before the midnight deadline. Natasha Chen has this report from Washington.
Throughout the campaign, I promised to renegotiate NAFTA, and today we have kept that promise.
President Donald Trump says the newly named United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, is the largest U.S. trade deal ever made. The agreement came together hours before the October 1st deadline.
There were a number of moments when the thing could have died. They kept picking it up, kept pressing the case.
The deal requires 40 to 45% of auto content be made by workers earning at least $16 an hour.
The most advanced protections for workers ever.
And requires more of a vehicle's parts to be made in North America in order for the car to be free from tariffs. Automaker Ford says it's very encouraged by this. Quote, the benefits of scale and global reach will help to drive volume and support manufacturing jobs.
Dairy was a deal breaker.
In a win for the U.S., the deal will also open up some of Canada's dairy market to U.S. farmers that could produce better prices in the U.S.
Milk, butter, cheese, yogurt, and ice cream.
This deal must be signed by Congress within 60 days, a Congress that could include a Democratic-controlled House after midterm elections.
There could be Democratic support for this. There's a lot of things worked into these agreements with Mexico and Canada that are very helpful to workers and labor unions for that matter. So let's see, we might be surprised.
In Washington, I'm Natasha Chen.
The president says steel and aluminum tariffs remain in place on Canadian and Mexican imports. White House officials say they will negotiate this issue separately from this trade deal. The FBI spoke with the second woman who accused Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct. A source familiar with the matter told CNN the FBI spoke with Deborah Ramirez yesterday and that she provided names of the witnesses. The president's press conference was supposed to be focused on the new trade deal, but President Trump raised eyebrows with his response to a question about Brett Kavanaugh's past drinking habits.
But I can tell you, I watched that hearing, and I watched a man saying that he did have difficulty as a young man with drink. The one question I didn't ask is, how about the last 20 years? Have you had difficulty the last 20 years? Because nobody said anything bad about him in many, many years. They go back to high school.
The president's statement contradicts what Kavanaugh said at the hearing. The Supreme Court nominee was insistent that he did not have a drinking problem, and he says he never drank to the point of blacking out. However, Kavanaugh did repeatedly declare he liked beer and still does during the hearings. With the confirmation process delayed for an FBI investigation, the Supreme Court begins a new term today shorthanded. The court will work with only 8 justices after Anthony Kennedy retired. President Trump and Republicans hope to have nominee Brett Kavanaugh seated in time for the new term. The Athens City Pool hosts Pups for a Good Cause. That story is still ahead.
And weather-wise, it was hot and sunny today, but that sun is soon to go away after we have chances for rain this midweek. We'll talk all about that coming up in my full forecast, but first, a look at stocks of local interest.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
I love PBS because at the heart of everything PBS does is education.
I use PBS not only in my home, but also in my classroom.
It's kind of the idea of being the great equalizer for learning and for education.
I'm a lifelong learner, and PBS has always been part of that journey for me.
I love PBS because PBS supports teachers.
They know what works for kids and what's best for kids, and that's why I love PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse.
TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
The death toll from a powerful earthquake and tsunami in Indonesia is rising. Survivors are struggling to pick up the pieces. Kim Hutcherson has a closer look at the rescue efforts and the destruction left behind.
Across Indonesia, a desperate scene after a deadly quake and tsunami left a widespread path of destruction. The death toll now tops more than 800 people, and Indonesian officials fear that number will likely climb even higher. That's because rescuers are desperately digging through the rubble, searching for survivors.
A baby boy in a drainage ditch, actually, was alive and was safe. Can't find the parents, but, managed to not perish in that.
On Friday, a 7.5 magnitude quake struck an Indonesian island and triggered a powerful tsunami. Cell phone video captured the moment the tsunami came ashore. Officials say the tsunami unleashed waves about 10 feet high and sent people running for higher ground. Indonesian authorities estimate that 2.4 million people were impacted by the disaster, and even the Red Cross is having a hard time reaching those who need it the most.
Roads are damaged, bridges are down, so it's hard enough to get into the major urban areas, but it's even more so difficult to get into the more remote rural communities, rural areas, small towns that are farther inland.
Hundreds were severely injured, and thousands who survived are now homeless and struggling to find basics like food and water.
It's a very grueling, it's a very emotional experience for everybody that's involved, and it's still not finished.
I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
Hi everybody, I'm forecaster Nicholas Snyder. Well, the story of the day was sunny and warm weather. It's still sunny and warm out there right now. 79, partly cloudy. Some clouds have moved into the area. It's sunny and warm, as I said earlier. Winds are out of the south at 3 miles an hour all across the area. Pretty much the same thing. 79 in Chillicothe. The warm spots, 83 in Columbus and Ironton due to that urban heat island. 80 in Newark, 80 in New Lexington, 80 in Cambridge. All under mainly sunny to partly cloudy skies, all due to two things. This stationary front up in northern Ohio and this area of high pressure down in South Carolina. Those two things are allowing that warm weather to be moving on up into the area. We'll talk about more of that in a second, but first we'll get you through tonight. Again, not much cooling off tonight, partly cloudy to mainly cloudy skies as we go throughout the night. Temperatures will cool off into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Tonight in Athens, 68 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Watch out for an isolated shower. 99.9% of you should stay dry, but an isolated shower here and there across the viewing area. Winds will be out of the southwest at 5 to 10 all across the area. Again, watch out for that isolated shower, but everyone should be under partly cloudy to mainly clear skies tonight. 68 in Athens and Marietta, 69 in Ripley, 68 down in Ironton and Jackson and in Chillicothe, 68 up in Columbus, 67 in Newark and in Cambridge, again under mainly clear to partly cloudy skies. Morning planner tomorrow, rain chances start to move in. We start you out at 68 at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., warm you up to 71, by noon 72. It's not going to be as warm as it was today tomorrow. And we have those chances of thunderstorms, and those chances will increase as we go throughout the day. So 77 tomorrow, scattered thunderstorms, 70% chance of thunderstorms. Winds will be out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Again, everywhere you go in the viewing area, you could see a scattered shower or thunderstorm tomorrow. 75 in Columbus, 75 in Newark, 76 in Cambridge, 74 in New Martinsville and in Marietta, 77 here in Athens. 78s are the warm spot and Jackson in Ironton. Again, all due to the stationary front. It's going to stir up a couple of showers and thunderstorms pretty much all across the region, up in Tennessee, Kentucky, up in northern Ohio, and yes, of course, down here. That's going to pretty much stall out, and those rain chances will be there for Wednesday as well. That high pressure may drive those rain chances down a little bit, for your Wednesday into Thursday. But Thursday is going to be another high chance for rain day. As we see in the extended forecast right here, we have fog possible on Wednesday as we have a very muggy day ahead, 81. Again, those rain chances return for Thursday with a high of 82, 70% chance there. Friday, cloudy skies at 79 degrees. Saturday, fog returns, more humid air, 84 degrees. 83 on Sunday, mainly sunny skies, as well as Monday, the sun returns with an 83-degree high.
Thanks, Nicholas. The 9th annual dog swim at the Athens County Pool was held yesterday. The event raised over $1,000 for the Athens County Humane Society Spay and Neuter Fund.
So this is the dog swim, and all the proceeds go to a different charity each year.
We're at the Athens City Pool, and we're grateful that they allow us to come at the end of their pool season. We usually do it about a week after they've closed for the season. And just people bring out their dog-friendly dogs that are up to date with shots and friendly, and to just run around and have a good time. And some of them get in the water, some of them just run around, and it's so much fun to watch. It's just my favorite day of the year. I mean, it really is, because these dogs are just having so much fun, and it's just so much fun to watch. And to be able to raise money, for really good causes is always, a really great thing.
Seeing all of the dogs so happy running around, mostly getting along with each other. And I'm glad the weather held out. I was afraid it was going to be stormy or cold.
I mean, how can you not love dogs? They're just so happy and unconditional love and just super sweet and fun.
Hi, I'm Thomas Garver. Man, what a weekend of sports in Athens. Finally, the Ohio soccer team returned home, and the volleyball team was at the Convo. How their weekends went later on. And also right after the break, points, yards, and some more points. I hope you love offense. Highlights of Ohio and UMass's combined 100 points from Saturday next on Newswatch.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
This fall is going fast, but don't get bored on us mid-season now. The playoff picture is starting to develop, and every game that we bring you will have playoff implications. Right now is one of the most exciting times of the fall, which means you can't afford to miss Friday nights with us. Live at 11:30, Gridiron Glory is here for you. And check out our Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages all throughout the week. They're chock full of coverage. So start your weekends with us. And remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights in Gridiron Glory.
I'm such a huge fan of PBS. For my entire life, it's been our window into a world of the arts that isn't available anywhere else on TV. We learn about our numbers and our letters and singing through music, through the incredible children's programming they have. And then we grow up and we get to see the world of the arts, whether it's ballet or opera or Broadway, and so many other amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else except for PBS.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
Welcome back. I'm Thomas Garvick. I hope you love offense, or this might be a tough highlight for you to watch. Ohio and UMass put up video game-like numbers at Peden, but I assure you it was 100% real. Bobcats rocking the old school Ohio on the helmet, but the Minutemen, they do not care about that. Andrew Ford, the southpaw, drops this dime to Andy Isabella. Referee singles, that's good. One of 3 touchdowns for him. Minutemen up 21-7 at one point, but Rourke and the Bobcats, they settle in. Rourke keeps it himself, punches it in. He had a monster day on the ground. Air Canada took his game to the ground. And then you know who loves that? Rufus. He loves that, and he loves Malik Irons too. Irons, he had a career day on the ground, 140 yards. He punches that one in, 52-35 at that point. Bobcats, they win in a shootout, 58-42. You know, head coach Frank Solch happy with the team's win, and at today's press conference, a rare laugh out of him after getting a call from his wife needing the keys to his car.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
This is, oh, I forgot that. Do me a favor, run down and give the fob right out there. Yeah.
All jokes aside, though, before Ohio can move on to Kent State, one thing needed to be addressed. UMass head coach Mark Whipple was suspended yesterday for using the word rape when comparing it to a penalty call.
Sometimes as coaches, not only in the heat of battle, but immediately after the battle and at even other times, you know, something comes out that you really didn't mean it to come out and mean the way it sounds. And so, you know, I know Mark, I think he's a good person, good coach.
The team is back in action against Kent State on Saturday, and right after the football game, the volleyball team was just getting started across the street at the Camu. The team hoping to bounce back from their loss to Buffalo Friday, and you could sense they're a little mad against Akron. People say football's a scary sport. Well, how would you like this ball coming at you? Stephanie Allman with the set winner. Ohio, they go on to sweep Akron, improve to 8-9 on the season. They hit the road for Miami of Ohio and Bowling Green this weekend. Ohio soccer was also in action. First time in 2 weeks. They had played a home game, and they did not disappoint. This is from their game against Miami of Ohio on Friday, 57 minutes. Abby Townsend gets behind the defense, and there's your winner. Ohio wins 1-0. Then senior day on Sunday, Ball State in town, and some late magic from Sydney Leckie, who scores in the 87th minute. Ohio and Ball State draw 1-1. Next game for them on Thursday. Back to football. The Athens Bulldogs made some history in Logan Friday night. Check out this sign, everybody. If you're going to cheer, you better sit with your mom. If you're not going to cheer, excuse me, but Clay Davis, he takes no exception to that. Breaks the tackle there. Nimble on his feet, a race to the end zone, and Davis, he barrels his way in for 6. 14-0 Bulldogs at that point. And then Davis, right before the half, Logan Maxfield gets away with the push-off. That's okay. You give them the score, 21-0 Bulldogs. They win this one, 21-14. Their first win in Logan since 1990. And then we head into NFL action. The Bengals, how about this crazy drive? Andy Dalton, few seconds left. He finds A.J. Green in the backcourt of the end zone. Dalton put those arms up. He's pumped. Bengals, they hold on for a 37-36 win. Joe Mixon pictured there, not playing, but part of the celebration. Browns wish they could say the same thing. The Browns headed to Oakland, and Baker Mayfield making his rookie debut. And look at this catch by Jarvis Landry. Wow. Take a look at this one again. Toe tapped in the back of the end zone. This game would go into overtime. Then the Raiders, in overtime, next score wins. Both teams have had a possession, and they bang this one through. Raiders, they win 45-42. And I'm Thomas Garwick, and that's it for sports. Back to you.
Thanks, Thomas. Today is the first day college-bound students can apply for FAFSA. This year, the free application for federal student aid is going mobile, making the process easier than ever. The form is now available through the brand new My Student Aid app. According to the National College Access Network, only 61% of high school students apply, leaving more than $24 billion in state and federal aid on the table. Assistance is available on a first-come, first-served basis. So, experts recommend you submit the form as early as possible.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm forecaster Nicholas Snyder. Tomorrow, 77 degrees, scattered thunderstorms, 70% chance. Everyone has a chance across the viewing area of seeing a isolated shower or thunderstorm, but temperatures will be in the upper 70s and lower 80s. 78 in Ironton, 78 in Jackson, 76 in Chillicothe, 75 in Columbus. Mainly sunny skies unless you're under that isolated thunderstorm. Rest of the week, mainly warm. Temperatures in the 80s with some rain and sunshine returning for the beginning of next week. Maddie?
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Maddie Young. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.